This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the UK's #1 coral selling website, coral-auctions.co.uk and reefdork.etsy.com for all your 3D printed aquarium accessory needs. What's up, YouTube? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prestige Reef Dork Show. Would you like to make money from your hobby? Yes, you would. Right, well, you're in the right place because that's what we're going to talk about today. This is an expensive hobby. We can all agree. So today we're going to tell you how to harvest your organs and where to sell them on the black market. So,
true. It's more expensive than ever, actually. But then again, the things always just get more expensive ever. Because
to be fair, everything is more expensive than ever at the moment. So I don't know if it's just there. The Serious Reef did a video the other day about setting up the costs of setting up, and he worked out that actually you can do it cheaper. Even before accounting for inflation, you can do it cheaper than 20 years ago when he set up his first tank. So is the hobby more expensive? We've done streams on that before.
Yeah.
I mean, but actually some stuff has gone up more than others. I feel like livestock is more expensive, but is it more expensive all in when you account for inflation? Probably not. It's just that absolutely everything in the world at the moment is just crazy. Everything
you go and buy I was in the petrol station the other day, and I just bought 2 packets of sweets. It was like £6, and I was like, when did this happen?
No.
We're not here to moan about the price of chocolate.
No, we're not. We'd be here all day. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the price of fish, literally the price of fish today. So there we go. And before we do that, though, I meant to ask you beforehand. There was something. No, I'll ask you afterwards.
I'll have forgotten, so you're gonna have to remember to ask.
I've got it written down. Wait, so Ryan had a computer malfunction about
bad.
Yeah,
as in I'm currently using Rachel's laptop.
Is it plugged in, by the way?
Yes, it's plugged in. Yeah. But do you remember? Obviously, a couple of months ago, my laptop basically stopped mid live stream. Well, the same thing happened again. I've been using it for the last 2 hours before the live stream, but the same thing happened again, and it just will not turn back on. So I think I need to go buy a new laptop tomorrow.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. But yes, so we're going to be talking about other stuff, but we'll come on to that later. I just wanted to check one thing because I got really excited because there was a setting in StreamYard. StreamYard's getting better, actually. I'm always rude about it. It's getting better. There was a setting that I was playing with the other day that said you can set it to 4K.
Okay.
But it's not coming out in 4K. So I think the recordings are 4K, which means the podcast stream on Spotify, hi podcast people, you can watch it in 4K. But us plebby YouTube people, you got to watch it in HD like it's 1992. Anyway, I've got loads of stuff to talk about today, to be fair. So
yeah, there is actually there's some quite big things have happened, I think, this week.
Yeah.
But where would you like to start?
Well, let's start with what you've been up to.
I see. Just before the live stream started, I said to Alex, "I need you to go first because obviously the half an hour I've been trying to set stuff up, and then you immediately go, okay, over to you, Ryan."
So you're saying what have I been up to?
Yeah, what have you been up to? Because it gives me time to process my thoughts.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I have been up to a few things. So I've done a couple of your favorite types of video, Ryan.
Okay.
Not just product reviews, unboxings.
We should have started with me.
On the Reef Dork Extra channel. So I've done a couple of unboxings. I've done the Red Sea light, which is now over my shoulder, and I've done the Aquawiz. Did I tell you that I've got an Aquawiz the other week? I think I did.
Yeah, you told me. You said last week.
Yeah. So I've done the unboxing for that, and I've started to set it up this evening. I'm not enjoying the setup process.
Okay. I was interested. Have you actually got it working yet, or is it literally just
I got halfway through and I got a bit tired of it. So it's actually, I don't think it's that difficult. It's just the step I got to, it wasn't working. And so I was like, you know what, I'll come back to this another time. But it's because it's like the instructions are all in broken English because it's like a Chinese product. There's a really good video from Kalamazoo Reefer that talks you through the setup process. So I was watching that instead, and it's great. But halfway through, the stage that he gets to is different on mine. So I don't know if they've updated or something, but I just thought, there's like a 30-page guide on their Aquawiz website. So I'll be able to do it. I just got to the point where I just thought I don't have the patience to read that 30-page guide tonight. So I'll do it another time.
There's definitely something in this hobby about products which are good and products which are good but also difficult to set up. There's some like there doesn't seem a lot of them aren't intuitive is what I find. I'm not a genius, let's put it that way, when it comes to setting up. I think we all know that. But when it comes to setting up like products especially, and there are some people that do it like brilliantly where it just works. I would say the ecotech people are in that. I would say that when you pretty much just plug and play, and there are some products which are really, really good, like the GHL ones, but you need to know a different language to be able to set them up.
You do. To be fair, most of the bigger companies, Mobius is really good. The Red Sea app is good. The Refactory app was really good until it went pop. So most of the big companies are really good, but because making a product like an alkalinity tester is quite expensive. So doing that properly in inverted commas is, if it's Samsung doing it, no problem. They've got the funds. If it's just some bloke out of his basement, his parents' basement, it's difficult to sink in thousands and thousands of pounds. And we often speak to people who are making a new product, and they talk about how much money they've sunk into it. And if that money's got to come from somewhere, so if you want it to be amazing, well, then you're gonna have to pay more money for it. So at what point do you have to stop? So some of the companies are like, you know what, I'm going to stop here, so I can sell it for £100 instead of £1,000. Because if £1,000, it'll be amazing, but no one will want it. So that's the level this is at. It's like I don't know what Aquawiz do apart from this. I don't know if they're massive in China, but as far as I can see, they've only got 2 products, and only one is widely available outside of China. So it's not going to be a big company like Ecotech, who've been going for 30 years. They've made everything smooth and slick. Because it's funny, because we like every now and then or you can be harsh about an app like Mobius. I didn't think used to be that great, so I used to be a little bit critical of it, but now it's actually really good. But there are levels to that, right? So and I think we get a bit spoiled by the really good companies, but because it's such a small hobby and such a niche hobby, sometimes you have to fight a little bit to get set.
Yes, fair. That's fair to say.
But I've shelved that for now, and I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it probably tomorrow and try to set up tomorrow, because I'm looking forward to getting it set up. It does look like a good bit of kit, to be fair. So just need to fight past the hardship. But I've got another. I just got so much good news for you today, Brian. I've got more equipment arriving tomorrow.
That's all right. It's easy because when you talk about equipment, I can zone out, and that means I can keep working on the rest of the live stream.
So I've bought a Calcquasser stirrer.
Okay.
Which is basically a space-saving device.
But you don't use calc anymore, do you?
Yep, I went back.
Oh, you went back to it, did you?
Yeah. I was just doing 2-part dosing before, but
you probably told me that like 50 times.
Probably. It was when I had a couple of problems, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go back to everything that's worked for me in the past. So let's go back to Calcquasser. And it's a pain because you've got to mix up loads, and I've got this massive vat next to my tank now, and I've still got to top that up every 6 days, which is too much effort. So I bought a calc stirrer because it just means it just takes all that effort away, or most of the effort away anyway. So that's arriving tomorrow. It's from a company called Reef. Never heard of them. Again, I think they're a Chinese company.
Oh, is this someone who sent you something then?
No, I bought it. Oh. It was no, but I bought it.
Is there a reason you went? Because the only reason I asked if someone sent you is because you didn't seem to know a calc stirrer is basically all the same then.
Well, there's only a couple really. So the other one I had before was from Deltec, but mine always used to clog. And it's really expensive. It's like 450 quid for the size I would need, maybe even more if I went for the bigger one. And this one was half the price. Don't know if it's going to be half as good, but we will see.
There you go. But you also have been fish shopping, haven't you?
I have. Yeah. Ryan's like, can we get
Quickly moving on.
Yeah. Smooth. I have. Yeah, I bought a tang, which is weird because I hate tangs. What do you so before I show everybody, what do you think of my tang? Do
What
you
do I
hate it?
think of it?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think I told you last week. They're not. Basically, I would pick almost every other tang other than that one.
Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration either. I do
No.
have one of those, but it's long. It's far down the list of my favorite tangs.
All right. Well, let's reveal who we're dealing with. It's this guy. It is
If I wanted,
a. Go on.
if I wanted a tang that was an acanthus tang that wasn't overly mean, I'd go for a vampire tang. Because they're one of my favorite fish. I feel like they're like easily missed, overlooked.
I just think they look awful. I just don't like. But this is the thing. So you think that looks awful? So that's it's a mimic lemon peel tang, also known as a chocolate tang, and doesn't look like chocolate. It does. It's yellow, but and it's obviously it's mixed the lemon peel angelfish. So it's got a tiny bit of blue around the eyes, although it's not actually that defined on this particular specimen. But it goes kind of yellow and chocolate coloured when it's older. And if you were to say it's boring because it's brown, I don't hate that. It's like when I try to persuade people that cricket is amazing, when they're like, no, I'm just not interested, mate. I'm not gonna argue with that. So if you tell me that you don't like this fish, and people say it in the chat as well, I think you're okay. I just think when they're juvenile, they look awesome, really bright, not quite as bright as a yellow tang, but really bright and cool. But I love their adult colours. I think they look so cool, and I've seen them, not just pictures. I've seen them, a few of them in the flesh now. Just think they're wicked. So I really like.
That's what this hobby's about. Everyone likes different things. Interestingly, I actually really like freckle face tangs, and they're basically the same color, and as when they get older as those ones.
Yeah, this is true. I'm not that keen on freckle face tang. I can't make my mind up on freckle face tangs, because there was one guy I did a tank tour of a little while ago, 6 months or a year ago, and he had a freckle face tang that was quite nice. But I've seen others that just don't really do it for me. They just look a bit bland. Same with vampire tangs. To me, they just look like it looks like you put a vampire tang out in the sun and it's just got as faded. It looks like a boring.
They're like I don't know, they're like almost blue, but they're not like really blue. They're like a subtle blue color. And they're this like really like vivid blue. The reason I'm talking about it is because Rachel actually noticed it for the first time today in the coral farm. I've had it for like probably 7 years, but but she saw it for the first time. It's not like it's hidden. It's always out. She's never noticed it before. And I was looking, going, that is genuinely one of my favorite fish. Which is funny because you don't like it at all.
No, it's funny. Why is it your favorite? Why one of your favorites? Why do you like it so much?
I don't know. They're an acanthus tang, which is hardier than most other acanthus tangs. They're not like in terms of like disease. It says all by myself on Ryan's side. Oh, there you go. So someone else likes it apparently. But they're also peaceful as well. They're one of the more peaceful tangs, and I just think they just look a bit different. I don't know. You can't define why you like certain things, if you see what I mean. Like everyone just has a different taste, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And
someone
said
something about it makes me go, oh yeah, I like that.
Someone said they bought a juvenile mustard tang. I'm sure I've seen that look similar. I'm sure I've seen chocolate tangs labeled as mustard tangs before. And I had to in the shop, I had to Google the scientific name for this one. I was like, I am getting the right fish, aren't I? Because it doesn't really have a defined blue ring around its eye like a lemon peel angel does. But it is definitely the right one.
I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same fish.
Yeah. But then there's a fish called a mustard tang that looks totally different when it's older. It's the Guttatus. What's it called?
Oh no, that's they don't look similar when they're young or
surgeon fish.
They're jewel tangs, the ones you're talking about.
Jewel tang, that's the one. Yeah, exactly. So, but I've seen them. This is the confusing. This is why Harvey is rubbish with names, because I've seen them called mustard tangs. I've seen the one, my one, which is this one. I've seen that called a mustard tang, and it's like, well, which is it? So,
well, I think your one looks more mustard-like.
Yeah, it's kind of the spots, I guess. But you're right, it does a bit, doesn't it? But maybe I might find out that when he gets older, Is that so? The mustard tang there, the jewel tang, is that what they look like when they're young or old, with like the
jewel
brown stripes?
no, as in they don't change. They don't change when they're juveniles or
Great.
adults.
Happy days. Happy days.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. You haven't bought one of
I've
those.
not actually. I've accidentally bought it. But my other slight hesitation was it's an acantharus tang. So I don't like tangs because they're aggressive, and
Yeah,
acantharus tangs are slightly more aggressive than. Oh, is that true? Do you think slightly
that
more
is
aggressive?
true.
I think
But
they
those
need more
the
bigger
one that
space.
you have are not the more aggressive acantharus tangs.
Yeah, yeah. I asked you
So,
about this a couple of weeks ago.
yeah,
I was subtly doing research.
It's hard to say because if it's the most dominant fish in the tank, then yeah, it will be. It potentially could be a pain. But if it's also if it's with loads of other tanks, it's not going to be the most dominant tanks that you have.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So yeah, that it's difficult to just to specify aggression in fish because the aggression actually depends on what else they're with, not the actual individual fish themselves. Unless
it also depends on your perception of aggression as well, because I'm much more sensitive. I'm more likely if we had the exact same fish exhibiting the exact same behavior of aggression, I'm far more likely to consider it to be aggressive than you are. I'm a bit more soft with that, so I've got a lower tolerance for aggression. So, but so the thing is, so he's quite small, and he is he's the only tang in the tank, or at the moment anyway. I don't plan on adding any others, but anyway, he's in an isolation box. He's chilling out. I'm always tempted just to release him, but he's in an isolation box. The plan is give him 2 weeks in there. I might fold and let him out early, but we'll see.
But there's nothing else in the tank that would be aggressive towards him, is there?
The Japanese angel, potentially.
I'd be maybe very briefly that she might have some form of this is new, but I don't. If it's been in there for like 2 days, it's probably it will be fine now, I reckon.
Yeah, the Japanese angel is very mild on aggression, to be fair. But the only fish that's been over to say hello is my long-nosed hawkfish. He's kind of perched on the edge, and he can be a little bit. He can give a bit of a Glasgow welcome to some fish, but it's minor.
I reckon, do what you want, but I reckon if you let him out tonight after,
it'll be fine. I won't do it tonight. But the hawkfish isn't going to cause him any bother. But just sometimes he chases. And actually, someone asked me. I was in a shop. I was in Reef Keeper, obviously, yesterday, and someone was asking them about keeping hawkfish together. And can you do it? And you and I, have you got more than one hawkfish? You've just got one.
I've only got one.
Oh, okay. So I've had a scarlet hawkfish and a long-nosed hawkfish together in my current tank for, I don't know, 6 months.
And a falco.
In my last tank, I had a falco, a long-nosed, and a scarlet, all three of them. And both sets have been absolutely fine. The three together, the falco, the long-nosed, and the scarlet, were together for 5 years, something like that. The tank was running for about 6 years. I can't remember when I bought them, but it was quite early on, at least 3 years. All completely fine. The falco is the most aggressive of the bunch, but even he's pretty placid. You wouldn't even bat an eyelid. So every now and then you get a tiny bit of aggression from the falco, but they're actually really good. And the two of them, the scarlet and the long nose, in my old tank, got used to sit next to each other. They were cool. And then my scarlet died in quarantine, so I got a new one. And the long nose gave them a bit of a welcome, and they're not mates anymore, but they're fine. So, and they
definitely have attitude, hawkfish.
Yeah,
they definitely even once they've been there for ages. Every so often they'll be like, "I want to sit on that rock now," and they will shoo away one of the blennies or something.
Well, they're predators at the end of the day, aren't they? So
I
guess that's their baby. But yeah, I love hawkfish, and I love having two in the same tank. So I was going to tell you this beforehand and not say on the live stream, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I lost a what's it called? Scarlet Dragonet yesterday.
What the one of the ruby ones?
Scooter. Ruby red Dragonet. Yeah. So he jumped. I for the last couple of months I haven't had a cover because my tank's got a 3/4 brace. I always wanted. I thought if it was a brace all the way around all four sides, I might be able to get away without a cover. I know it's still a risk, but I was like, well, I might be. And I bought an acrylic sheet basically that was the same sort. So, and I put it at the back. So I had a brace all the way around, and I took my cover off, and it's been off for a couple of months. And yesterday I paid for it.
Yeah.
Came down a pound of
It's
crispy.
it's like Russian roulette. It's only a matter of time.
It was inevitable, yeah.
And there's some fish that you just don't need covers with, and I think that's how I got away with it for so long. Things like tangs and stuff like that. I never really kept blennies and gobies and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it literally is a matter of time.
In my tank as well, in particular, it was stupid. Actually, I shouldn't have done it. I spoke to someone who'd had a similar tank with no aggressive fish, and they'd had a cover off for years, and
Yeah.
And it had been fine as well. And it's sometimes that's all it takes. You know, it's a bad idea, but when one other person says, "Yeah, it's great," you're like, "Okay, I'll do it." I really shouldn't have done it, but yeah. So I've got plenty of fish that are potential jumpers. So, but it's a shame when it's a fish that's difficult to get eating. And he was great. He'd been doing really well.
One of my customers, Peter. Obviously, you met Peter, didn't you? Because you filmed
Yeah.
his tank. He has a fox face. If you go near the tank, he tries to jump out.
Oh,
Just
really? The fox
it's
face?
fine with him, but I'm assuming he still has it because he keeps most of his fish for years and years and years. But yeah, I'm not even sure which fox face it is, but I was there once and you can hear it. Like it's not happy sometimes if you go near it.
Oh, really? So
You
he's
can hear
like,
like the splashing.
yeah, okay. Mine comes to the top and like he pecks at the algae right on the very
No,
where the
this is
water
like
meets.
this
Trying
is
to
like
get
I'm
out
gonna
of here.
jump out.
He's
I
like,
don't know
come
if it
here.
still does it.
Okay, that's funny.
But let's put it this way: if there's any fish, there's a slight delay. So if I'm talking over you, that's why. Just so you know, if there's any fish that you don't want firing itself at your face, it's a fox face.
Venomous, spiny.
Yeah,
Fox face, yeah. Badger.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it's stupid. I shouldn't have done it, to be fair. But yeah, there we go. The cover's back on now. It won't surprise you. The horse has bolted and I've closed the gate. So
Yeah.
yeah, there
Well,
we go.
I think that's what happens in this hobby. I think what happens is at some point a long time ago, you probably had a fish jump out. That you then put a lid on it,
Yeah.
and then you took the lid off.
You get
And the same
complacent.
thing happens. I think it happens more with experienced reefers. There is a level of complacency. I think at first people really fear the
Yeah.
hobby at first.
Yeah.
Like you get different sort of levels. Some people like dabble and don't test and things like that. Not great. Some people like really fear it and they want to do everything absolutely perfectly. And then
Health
after you've got
fit, yeah.
past that period, you start to just
It's not that bad. It's fine.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, it's always something basic that
Yeah.
kicks your ass. It's always something like you take your eye off salinity, or you think that you're not going to put a cover on, or just something simple. If you
Yeah.
follow the basic rules of the game, you'll be all right all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, very annoying.
Why did you take it off out of interest? Only because like the tanks that both of us have are really tall. I suppose I'm shorter than you, so I can't even see my lid.
So mine isn't that tall actually. One of my criteria for the tank this time around was my last tank, my Peninsula, was
Yeah.
it was 1.60 m, which is 5 foot 4 inches, 5 foot 4 inches, and I'm 6'1", but still that felt above eye level. It wasn't, but that was really tall. The one I've got at the moment is I can't remember how tall it is now. I think it's like 10 centimeters shorter, 4 inches shorter. It's at least 2 or 3 inches shorter, so I can see top down, and I love being able to see top down. And it's also really easy to access and to feed and all that sort of stuff. But mainly it was because I like to see top down. But I did think to myself today, actually, I don't really do that on my water box.
Yeah.
That I didn't used to have a cover on that. I could see, because that was really low. I could see top down all the time. But on my Red Sea one, it's still quite tall. So actually, I don't look top down. So
yeah. See, I can't. I'm much shorter than you, so I literally can't.
You 5'10".
Yeah, I think so. Either 5'10" or 5'11". Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 5'10". So,
Oh.
but we'll say 5'11", just to,
There we go.
make me feel better.
Yeah,
but I literally cannot see the lid. So, because I never ever wanted a lid, and then with the water box, I don't care because I can't see it. So,
have you still got the top lids lid?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have London Aquatic Design do the ones in the coral farm, and then I have the top lids one for the water box. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It is a pain when you want to do a ward change that you got to take the lid off, but it only takes like 30 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. It's yeah. I've got just a mesh one, a DD build your own one.
Yeah.
What I like about it is it's really lightweight, so it's less of a hassle to take off. I know
That's true. Yeah, I have a Red Sea one on the in the farm on one of the tanks, just because it seemed to fit almost perfectly. But the problem with those is they're like, if you're like me and you know what you're doing, they're a bit janky, aren't they?
So actually, I'm better at making them now. I've probably made 3 or 4 of them, so I'm better at it now. But still, when I made this one, it was too tight, and so it wobbles, doesn't it? So it's like it pulls it. But what I did find actually over time, that because it's constantly pulling it, that eased off, so it was no longer wonky. So actually, after a couple of months, it bedded in, and it was all right. I should get an acrylic one, but they're really expensive. They're like 600-700 quid for my size.
I know.
I looked at the other day. I was looking at a what's it called? The AI blade, a 6-foot AI blade, the glow one. Almost £1,000, 960 quid. I was like, you know what? I'll pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lids, I don't understand why they're so expensive. I get maybe the machine to cut them is that much. I don't know. There must be a reason, because they're all expensive from everybody. And if someone was just ripping you off, someone else would come in and be like, I'll make it cheaper. So
I think acrylic is expensive, but I don't know if it's expensive in comparison to the amount that is being used for it. If you see what I mean, I don't know. When I bought one of the lids, I remember that I needed like three additional ones after that, and the price had changed between them because the cost of the acrylic had fluctuated so much in that time period. I think that might be it, but that's not, me. There's no facts here, is there?
No, but I think the machine to cut them is probably expensive as well. And at the end of the day, if you're making acrylic lids for saltwater aquariums, that is a niche within a niche.
Yep.
So you're not selling 1,000 of them every day, are you? So your profit margins need to be higher, and they're a pain to post. And
there you go. Acrylic is expensive. Mailman just said in the Actually, to be fair, you know those orange rods that I use for aqua, to divide the coral up.
Yeah,
they look like 1/4-inch square acrylic rods. They were so expensive.
Oh, really?
For like I can't remember exactly, but I'm sure I spent like 80 quid for like 5 meters of them or something. And it's just a piece of plastic that glows if you think about it.
Yeah.
But obviously, I just thought I'll buy it and then I can use it again and again and again, so it was fine. But that's not like, and that's just for a little tiny sliver of it. So I don't know why acrylic's expensive, but it obviously is. Yeah.
Difficult to make. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so I should get one of those covers. But I think I'll just stick with the one I've got. It does the job. It stops fish jumping out. So
yeah, true.
There we go.
There was one thing that I haven't got a huge amount to talk about this week with regards to what's been going on for me. However, at the end of last week, I sort of mentioned some quite big news with regards to like corals, didn't I? But I didn't really have like concrete information for you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do it now, and the reason I wanted to do it, I think it's better to do it now so we can talk about it, because it's not really, it is a news article, but it's more of like an in-depth news article than say Live Aquaria, for example. That's like a 5-minute conversation, whereas this is something that's actually more interesting. So last week I mentioned at the very end that basically CITES have now added some extra corals to their list of what we are now no longer allowed to get. It came in July this year. We haven't been allowed to get acanthophyllia. Acanthastrias is what they have it listed at, but they're talking about micromusas. And scollies. We haven't been able to get those from Australia for a long time, basically. They've added 2 in July, and one of them's a pretty significant one. In fact, I would say both of them are. One of them is Euphyllia. It just says Euphyllia species.
So does that mean, because Euphyllia is actually torches, but Euphyllia is sometimes used to mean hammers and...
It doesn't say. I'm literally looking at the CITES website at the moment on my phone.
You would like to think they've got it right, and that means torches, but...
You don't know.
I think I've got that the right way around. Euphyllia is torches and Fimbriophylla is hammers, right?
Don't ask me.
They were reclassified.
You'd think I'd know this, but I just order them.
Yeah.
So and the other one, which actually hurts me a little bit, is Alveopora. Now, these are specifically from Australia. This is from Australia. This isn't you get these corals from other places. It's not like scollies, which are like pretty specific where they come from, if you see what I mean.
Fimbria is hammers, by the way. Euphilia is torches. Sorry, carry on.
Okay, I had a feeling it was that way around, but I didn't.
I thought that was right, but yeah. Sorry,
I didn't want to specifically say something and get it wrong. But yeah, so I went to the wholesaler and I asked them why, what if this decision happened in July, why are we only hearing about it now? And it's because basically everyone has a like CITES permits. So I don't know how often they get them, whether it's every few months or whatever. But basically, they go, I would like to have this many of this amount of coral, and I'm going to buy a permit for that, saying that I might not get them now, but I might get them in 3 months' time. Well, those CITES permits are coming to an end. So things like button scollies, which are on the list, the ones you see in the shops now are the ones that we're going to have basically for an extended period of time. It's never good when this happens because everything that affects the hobby in a negative way, it's becoming more and more restrictive. Now that doesn't mean that they're not going to come back, because there are some things that have come back. Catalophilias, for example, were never allowed. We couldn't get those before. And now they're available again. Fox corals once were banned, and now they're available again. And Trachophilias were banned once. But I think Australia do some of the nicest Alveopora. So I think that is that's disappointing. I don't think button scollies not overly fussed about.
I'm sure some people love them. I've never been into button scollies at all. Just doesn't even give me a wiggle.
But the thing that is actually most interesting is it's not Australia.
This is your algae, by the way. Is it called blue button algae or something like that?
It's blue dot because it's got a blue dot.
Blue dot, that's it. So I got the same one from Signature Frags. It's really I don't like alves because they're a bit more boring than gonnies. This is for me one of the nicest alves, and it grows like buggery.
It does grow fast, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Go on.
I didn't even know I thought you didn't have any Alveopora because you didn't like them.
That's the only one I've got. Anyway, you said it's not Australia.
The interesting, if you actually go on the CITES website, it actually says this, and it says the basis for this opinion is Article 4.2a. And when you actually look at what Article 4.2a is, it's basically England saying that we don't want their corals, which is exactly what happened with the Trachophilias.
Yeah, so that because we're saying that because we're not satisfied that there's enough evidence to show that it's not having a detrimental impact on the reef.
Yes, I have to be careful about what I say, because remember, I'm only going based on the information I've been told and found. But yes,
so that was what happened. It was happening before. Is that the UK government or the UK whatever? It's not. This is not a new government thing. It's not a political issue. The UK decided that there wasn't enough evidence to show that it wasn't harmful to the Great Barrier Reef to remove scollies.
Yeah,
Australia were okay with it, and everyone else is okay with it. But that's to be fair. I didn't like that, but it's hard to argue with it from a conservation point of view, because it's like, well, it's probably better to be safe than sorry there. But anyway, that's what was happening before, and I think that recently it changed recently, and suddenly we started getting big trackies back, and they were on this list.
I know I don't know what changed. Exactly. Because nothing appears to have changed.
But so they were on the list that the UK had decided, no, actually, there's not enough evidence to show that it's harmful. It's not harmful to the reef to remove them. And then suddenly they were back on the shelves. And I asked a few people, oh, well, what's changed then? And they were like, oh, yeah, you can get them now. No, I know you can get them, but what's changed? Oh, well, you can get trackies now. So yeah, but why? What's changed? So did someone do the research and show, look, there's billions of trackies? I never got an answer, but.
See, I tried to find the same answer as well.
Yeah,
and I spoke to the people that do know, and I don't think I don't think research was done. I think the opinion was just changed for some reason, but I don't know why. So, as I said, it's anything that affects the hobby is a bad thing because it's like an accumulative effect sometimes. Sometimes it's like this happens, then this happens, and this happens, and it's like a snowball. And like we were talking about Hawaii years ago, I feel like now, when it was like close. It was so close that they were going to open back up, just like 6 or 7 fish or something, wasn't it? This must have been like a year ago.
Didn't that happen? It reopened for some fish.
No, I think they were meant to, but then I don't think it ever did.
Oh, it got stuck, didn't it? They
Yeah.
lodged an appeal or something.
Yeah.
That does sound familiar, actually.
So we're constantly under attack, and I don't think that's an exaggeration.
No, it's not. Yeah.
And it's a shame because, especially from like the fish perspective, we are insignificantly small with regards to what we take from the ocean.
Compared to even bycatch, let alone the food industry, you know.
Supposedly, Hawaii is just about to open again. I will believe it when I see it. I hope it's true. If there's any articles on that, send it to me because I'd be interested to know. But yeah,
there's a thread on Reef to Reef about that, and it started. I follow it, and it started poking up again the other day. But it all looked like speculation to me, and doesn't mean that it's not true. But I didn't pay much attention to it until I see it from an official source. I tend to ignore it, I think. But like you say, show me, if you give me a yellow tang with made in Hawaii stamped on it, I'll believe you.
yeah, true. Although I'm not sure if the yellow tangs are on the list. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
there was literally 7 fish. It was like insignificantly small.
Potter's Wrasse.
I'm not sure if they were on it.
I don't think they were. There were. You're right though. There were 1 or 2 that were like, "Oh, I didn't even know that you could get that."
Yeah. And you're like, why have they put that on there rather than something else? Yeah, I remember.
But I guess it was whatever. Anyway,
what do you think then? Do you think it will have any impact at all? Like when I first told you it was button skies, you went, "Eh."
Don't care. Yeah, exactly.
So take out the fact that like it's just another thing that the hobby has to deal with. Based on just the corals, what do you think? Because you can get torches and frog spawns and hammers and everything from other places, so that's not going to change. So it really comes down to like fancier alveopora.
So that's the thing. It's a little bit difficult for me to know because corals, like yellow tangs, don't come with a stamp that says "Made in Hawaii." Corals don't. You don't know where they come from unless you're really in the know or you're really into it. You don't tend to know where they're from. I don't. You can tell sometimes. You can tell if you show me 2 acros next to each other in a shop, you tell me one of them is from Hawaii, one of them is from Indo, and one is from Australia. I can tell you instantly because one's got a base, one hasn't.
That's true. The
base is Indonesia. The one that hasn't is Australia. But generally, that's just because of the way they're farmed. Generally, if you put 2 corals next to each other. And told me that, and there was nothing like the way they were collected, put on different base or whatever, I would not have a clue which one was from what area. So with some exceptions, so that's a little bit hard. But Aussie gold torches, I don't hate that because they have a really poor survival rate anyway. And I've not seen them for a while. Maybe that's why. So I don't hate that Aussie gold torches are out, and maybe they're better bred in captivity, or not bred in captivity, you know what I mean, like fragged. Maybe that's the better way to do them. Alves, I don't know which alves you get from Australia. It's not a good thing, and I would far rather it wasn't happening. But it's a little, unless you show me pictures of the corals that I can no longer get. And
it's different. Like with Scollies, I can go, look, Scollies, you can't have them. Although the tank bred ones are still available, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then if you show me which, does that mean that we can still get our Indo? A lot of Indo torches actually are really nice, to be fair. So, is that actually going to affect torches at all?
I don't think it will have a massive impact on torches.
I think you can get button Scollies from other places. I'm sure they're from the Caribbean as well. Am I making that up?
I don't know, actually.
Okay, maybe I'm making it up. Oh yeah, your drawing's back, by the way. You're
I know. I know. Rachel will be very happy that someone suggested it might be her. So,
Rachel.
The customer turned up today and went and said, "You should keep the dog up." You know, the one that Rachel put up before. And I was like, "No." It has since rotated around the house. She just keeps taking different pictures down and putting the dog picture up. And I just
because if it wasn't asymmetrical, I'd be up for it. But it just looks weird. So
no, yeah, I think someone said that she's nesting is what it was described as.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone in the comment section.
Yeah.
I think that's where isn't that where someone moves in and starts changing your stuff?
Yeah, so that's kind of nesting by stealth, yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Not yeah, to be fair, I didn't notice it. It was up there for like I think 12 hours before I even noticed it. So but yeah.
But so what do you think then? Because that's what I think. What do you think?
I'm disappointed about the alveoporus. I just am. Like those. I know you didn't like them that much, but the pink and blue ones I've got. I took about 40, 50 frags of those, I think, of different alveoporus to Aqua. I sold most of them. They were the most popular coral that I sold there.
Oh, really?
Other than I was surprised.
And they were all Australian.
Yeah, all the pink ones and all the blue ones are Australian ones.
Right. Okay.
And I didn't realize it at the time, but I got them in on the last shipment, and they were really expensive. And they even said to me, "These are really expensive," and I went, and I didn't know they were. Otherwise, I'd have bought more of them.
Yeah.
And I just went, "Oh, I'll take them anyway because they grow fast, and I like them." Sometimes you buy stuff.
Have you still got frags of them that you can grow?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. But what I wanted to say is, if you bought one of those frags from me at Aqua, just make sure you keep it alive, because it's one of those corals that you can grow, and although it's not easy to frag, if you has someone who has a saw, it can be fragged.
So mine is kind of spreading a little bit. I've not seen its skeleton though. Does it grow a skeleton the same way as a gunny does, like a dome?
Yeah, it grows in a ball.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it may grow slightly, not exactly ball shaped.
This feels pretty like much kind of lava spreading out is the way it looks. But...
Yeah, Gonnies pretty much grow in a circle, don't there's no like really other pattern. Where alveoporus, they can be like oblong, but you know what I mean, like rectangle shaped. But yeah, I usually frag mine before they get to that size. So
yeah, okay.
Because they survive so well, you can literally get a frag of them and cut it in half, and it'll keep
smack it and it keeps going.
Yeah. So but yeah, that's the thing that I think is the biggest disappointment. And the other thing is, it's not going in the right direction. That's the thing that's disappointing.
Yeah, totally.
Like if you look at momentum, like Catalopheus came back, great. Trachys came back, great. And then all of a sudden, these are being taken away, and it's like I thought we were going. Like, what are you doing?
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, we were going in the right way. So, I think if there's a specific reason, then I would say, it's probably best not to do it. But you know what alveopora is like with regards to growing, so I'd be surprised if that one was an issue. It's different with like scollies because they're like single pieces.
Yeah, and the theory behind them is they like when they get to hobby sale size, they're like 50 years old.
I don't know how true that if they are 50, but I know it takes a long time to get there.
Yeah, it's believable that they're many years old, I guess. But
whereas with alveopora, I imagine there's probably like a massive
fields of the stuff. Yeah,
probably. But who knows?
That does feel a little bit like it's been made. The decision's been made by people who don't have the knowledge. Because alves are a weird one to if you say cantos and scollies, I get that. But alves is a bit weird. I'll swap you. Nice one.
I just wonder, like, who in England is sitting there going, I mean, we've got so many problems. Like, to be fair, though, we haven't got problems compared to some other countries.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But we have problems, the same as everyone has problems. So why is someone sitting there going, you know what? Today, I think it's the day we're going to ban button scollies.
Alveoporas,
yeah.
Like, sorry, what's what?
Yeah. No, I don't know, but anything that has a negative impact on the hobby, I don't like. So, but I just wonder if what will happen if like certain species, like sometimes things go crazy when all of a sudden you can't get them anymore. And I wish I'd known this before I sold them all.
Yeah.
Because it was only a month ago, and they'll probably give it 3 months. They'll be worth a lot more probably. So
because they're fast growers, but they're not like commercially on a commercial scale. They're not that fast growers, are they? So
I actually do grow them, but they're not. It's not like Montepora. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's exactly. It's not like you've got so many that that you're like, oh, I've got to frag it every 5 minutes or whatever. It's like you will run out of those. Some
Yes.
corals
Oh
you will
yeah,
never run
definitely.
out of because they grow
Oh,
so fast.
people are
So
trying to buy them now, but I can't sell them. So because I have, whenever you have a coral farm, you have to keep a certain amount for
yeah,
yourself to keep up with growth, and you can
brood stock.
never keep enough. You can literally never keep enough. If I have 5 pieces, I can turn those into 10 pieces. But those 5 pieces usually like have already been pre-ordered before, like they've been pre-sold, if you see what I mean, before they ever even get on the website. So
yeah. What do you think about it in the comments, guys? What do you think about I presume no one likes it, but let us know. What do you think about certain Australian torch corals, Australian corals not being available in the UK?
And the other thing I'm interested, what do you think about the fact that everyone else can have them? Because I feel like I feel like we are bullied by our own government to some extent.
Just because another country is doing something wrong doesn't mean we should do it.
Yeah, no,
but,
I know.
And the trouble is, I don't have enough knowledge. I've not been out to Australia. I've not done the diving. I've not done the research. I don't know if the people who are making the decisions have as well. But you're right, because the amount that we import compared to America, China, and probably various other countries must be minuscule. I don't know where the UK ranks in the world in terms of imports.
I think it's like 4th. I
was going to say it must be relatively high up, but if you did it by volume, I bet we are way down.
Yeah,
like
probably,
like if America is 1 million corals, we'd be 100,000 or something like that. You know what I mean? So
I'm pretty sure China's first, and then America, and then it might be us, or it could be Germany. I think is the other option.
I bet they're up there. Yeah,
but
I feel like
I don't know.
Germany's got a bigger population than the UK as well.
Some things like acanthorophilia have been gone for a long time from here, but you can still go to in America and just get them from your shop.
Yeah. Germany's about 20%, 15-20% bigger. So, yeah. So, well, sorry, what were you saying about acanthos?
Like we're not allowed them, but if you just go somewhere in America, you can just go into a shop and get them. I'm pretty sure it's still like that. You go to the shows and there's like tanks with like 20 of them in. Just like it's just not the same back home.
One came up recently on Ultimate Reef. This guy had it for years. So every now and then you see one come up from a tank breakdown, and it's dubious whether that is actually the case or not. But he wasn't breaking down his tank, but he was just selling a couple of his acanthos. And they two. I think they had 3, but 2 of them at least were really nice. But they were like 750 quid.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were north of 500. And I was like, oh God, I know I'd have had to drive the other end of the country. And I was like, God, I can't do it. And to be fair, that's so much money that I don't know if I would say I regret it now, but I thought long and hard about buying one. So
you'd regret it if it died. Let's put it that way.
That's true. I think they're quite hard. The thing is, I've never had an acanto, never, because when they were readily available, I was still relatively new to the hobby. Yeah. And the last one I remember seeing was 1,300 quid at Reef Dreams, which is now shut down. Yeah. And at that point, 1,300 quid to me was like, oh my God, that's more than my mortgage. I'm not going to pay that. Whereas now I'm like, oh yeah, it's only 5 mortgage payments.
There's a scale. The longer you're in the hobby, the less you think about money. It's like it goes across each other, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, yeah, fine, it's fine. Just I'll buy that.
Do you know what's weird? For me, it's actually a little bit different now because, although what I'm about to say is like I feel it, but when I look at the fish I've got, I don't actually believe it. But like when you lose something, because it's like I run it as a business now, which means it's a business loss if I lose something. So I feel like it hurts me more, but I don't know why. If you see what I mean.
Well, that segues nicely into the headline topic, because you mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and you said, we should do a live stream about how to make money from your tank. And I was like, no, not interested in that.
Honestly, I don't remember saying this to you, but
I was very dismissive of it. And I was like, actually, you know what? Because that was one of these. I'm making videos. I did one the other day of the top 9 fish in the hobby, and then the top 5 soft corals I did the other day. I'm going to do LPS and SPS. And I was watching back our live stream because I need to write down what won each category, all that sort of stuff. And that was when you said it. But a lot of the times when we talk about the hobby, you look at it from like a financial point of view because it's your business. Obviously, it's still the passion, but you look at it more from a financial point of view than I do, for example. And I know that whenever you look at my tank, you've just got dollars in your eyes and you're like, how much can I sell that for? Exactly. You're never like, oh, wow, I love what you've done with the aquascape there. You're just like, are you going to sell that watermelon chalice, Alex?
Yeah, no, I know. Even to this day, I was thinking about this. It has ruined the hobby for me because I used to love going to fish shops. I used to love, like, that was what I used to do at the weekend.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I can't remember the last time I went to actually I can, it was a couple of weeks ago, but what I mean is, like, I used to go I used to be you. And imagine if, you know how you go basically every weekend to Moss End, isn't it? Yeah. If someone took that away from you and said, "Oh, by the way, you're no longer going to do that," you'd be like, "What do I do with my what do I do with my time?"
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So it's
I can
like,
see friends, talk to my wife,
yeah,
hang out with my family. God.
Yeah, it's just So I think that bit is sad for me, and I think you're lucky because you have some like really really amazing shops like that aren't over that far from you.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it's pretty much like an hour and a half drive to go to, maybe even longer to get to Moss End. So, and then I get to Moss End and I'd be able to see corals which I can buy elsewhere and fish I can buy elsewhere. So it's like
that was so when we went to TMC recently, obviously you go there regularly, but we did that. There was the Influencers Day, which I call Creators Day. But so they invited us all in to make videos and all that sort of stuff, and just the amount of stuff they had in. That was, I then went to a shop the next day and I was like, this shop's rubbish. It was Reef, which is a brilliant shop. I was like, they haven't got half the stuff that they've got. So,
but that's the thing. It's ruined it for me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the other thing with going to the wholesaler is that you have anything and everything almost all the time, generally. So if you're specifically looking for that tang, for example, you potentially could have to go to multiple shops to see if there's one there. And it's like a surprise. I don't know if you ordered that in specially or no. So you literally just turned up and it was just there.
I've been looking for it for the last couple of weeks, but yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, so when you found one, it was great, wasn't it? Because you're like, oh, I've got that thing that I didn't know I was going to take home today. Whereas when you go to the wholesaler, you have everything, unless it's something specific, like
30 of each. Yeah,
exactly. And like an Achilles tang, yeah. So it definitely like has taken that part of the hobby from me. The only reason I'm saying this is just, beware, people. If you're about to make a load of money from your tank and then turn it into your full-time like business, it does take the edge off of it a little bit. So
you have to end up talking to your wife on the weekends. So just be careful.
Yeah, I spent the day with Rachel, so
hello, Mrs. Rachel.
That's why I'm so sad today. I'm just joking. Right, so where would you like to start with this? We can start on my journey with regards to how I originally made money from my tank, or we can start from the most obvious way to make money from your tank.
Let's start with your journey, because there are two obvious ways. One of them isn't really an option for most people. One of them is fragging. But you had you made money from day one, basically, didn't you? So
yeah, I did. I'm not going to tell the story about how I got the tank because like you would have heard it loads of times now. But one of the things that I suppose the first thing that I did was actually tank breakdowns. So you can get into this hobby basically for nothing. Like if you don't get me wrong, you need to have the funds to buy the tank, but then you can sell. Let's say if you wanted to get into a marine tank, you could buy an existing marine tank with livestock, and then you could. I don't advise this because you don't really know what you're doing, so the chances are you might kill a lot of the livestock, which is not ideal. But let's say there's a tank and it's got, I don't know, Flame Angel, and you don't want a Flame Angel because you want to keep coral, so you can buy the tank. You can sell the Flame Angel. Not for the cost of the entire thing, but it's a chunk of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
the only problem with that is you need to be a little bit lucky and spend a lot of time researching, because a lot of people, it's every now and then I see on eBay people sell an entire tank setup.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the tank, it's the lights, it's the skimmer, it's all the live rock, the corals, the fish, everything. And I don't know if I don't know how they price it, but sometimes I think they think, well, how much should I pay for everything? £4,000. Okay, I'll knock £5 off, and then so the prices are crazy. But every now and then, if you look hard enough and long enough, you'll find a deal where someone's like, I want to get rid of this. I spent £4,000 on it. Just give me £200. And but the catch is I've got to collect it today. If you see that deal, don't wait. Just be like, yeah, well, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be there now. Whatever it takes, bend over backwards for it.
I was I've never told this part of the story. I don't think I was an absolute idiot when I first got picked up the tank, because I went there to just go have a look at it, just to see the condition of the tank, and then I went, oh, it's taken an hour and a half to drive here. I'll just take it now. I had no idea what I was doing, and it came with fish as well.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how long it takes to break things down and set it back up. Like, I feel like that you're definitely correct, and I think that it's not the best advice as a way to start, because you do. Yes, that's what I started with. I started with Frontosas, and to this day, I still have like a soft spot for them. Yeah. I saw some the other day, and I was like, when you actually look at them, they don't do anything. They basically just like, if you see them in a shop, they just sit there. And that's
why I didn't. So when I was in freshwater, I was thinking I wanted something more, and I was like, maybe I should get cichlids because they're super bright, but they don't have the desperate need to fight for every inch of territory that reef fish do. Yeah. So that's what. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So it's I don't suggest that's the best way to get into the hobby, but that's how I got into the hobby. And I wonder now, like, if I did it the right, did I get lucky, basically?
I think you did to a degree, but it's the classic, the harder I work, the luckier I get, right? So that would not have been you just go on eBay for the first time and see it or whatever. So, and the other thing with that is that actually that might not be the best way for everybody. But if the choice for you was, I either do it this way or I literally can't afford it and I can't do it, well then
that was the choice. That literally was the choice. I had £400 to get everything, literally everything that I needed for a tank. I was only going for fish only tank at the time, so I didn't need like expensive lights or anything. All I needed was T5 bulbs, and like the guy had actually changed the T8 bulbs into T5 bulbs for his freshwater tank already. So I was like, this is perfect. So I do feel I got lucky, but I also look back at that and go, I was really, really lucky it didn't go really wrong. Like really wrong.
Yeah, true.
In terms of, so I had actually arranged the next day to sell the fish for £400. So I got the tank for free. You are right. It took some time to find the right one. That wasn't the first tank that came up for sale. And I was like, oh, look, I reckon I can do something with this. I had pre-sold the fish as well, but I had actually sold them for a week later. And when the tank arrived, I was like, I need you to come get these fish right now.
Yeah.
So
was £400 a good deal for the buyer?
Oh, for what tank? I can't even remember what tank it was at the time. I think it was.
Because that's the other thing you need is for someone else to have a real incentive to be like, yeah, I'll do it.
It was a good £400 for the fish. When I said, let's put it this way, when I said to them, you need to come get these fish now, they were there within like 2 hours.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly, yeah. That's what you
because
want.
I think Frontosas, a breeding group of 7 Frontosas are more than £400, and they were a specific type as well. There's different variants of them, and I think they had this massive adult male that was like, when they get like a full adult with that huge like ball on its head.
Lump. Yeah.
When you know Frontosas, they were like good ones. But
yeah, okay.
The reason I know that is because afterwards, after I'd sold them, I looked up and I was like, wait a minute, I could have sold these for way more. But it didn't matter because I was happy. They were happy,
and the buyer was happy, and he was incentivized to come and, I'm assuming it's a bloke, to come and get it straight away and not mess you around. Because the worst case scenario, if you'd got the maximum price, he might change his mind and be like, you know what, I just can't be bothered, mate. And then you'd have been stuck with it. And then it's like, now I've got to look after these fish. I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, and I didn't have a heater or anything because the heater had broken. But there have been multiple times where people are absolutely desperate to get rid of their tank. And the reason they're desperate is because your tank costs you money every single day. So they can hold out for that extra 20%. But if they hold out for long enough, that extra 20% is gone because they've spent it on salt, on water, on electricity. So if you can take away someone's problem, you're unlikely to get a deal if you go and go, oh, I'll have this fish and this fish and this. But if you go, I'll take everything, people will often throw it at you.
Exactly. Yeah. Make life easy for me. You can do what you want. If you make life difficult, it's going to cost you.
I think my 1,000-litre tank, I went for like £200 like at the end of it because I had a new tank. I didn't need it anymore. 200 quid for a 1,000-litre tank, which was in pretty good condition, was a bargain for the person who bought it. So it's So that is a bit lucky, if you see what I mean, with like and with work. But it's the same as flipping anything. You can flip tanks. It's just it's the other thing is when you're actually buying multiple tanks, you get lots of equipment as well. So you can upgrade your equipment for free, and then you sell either your old equipment or anything that you don't want. So you can make money, but it's a good way to build up a tank with stock and coral and fish because you just keep what you want and you sell everything else. At one point, I had like 6 tanks in my parents' garage. So the next thing that I did when I was at the beginning, and this, I don't know if this is still worth doing, but it only worked in a very specific way, was I used to sell RO water to people.
Oh, and really?
People, yeah, I did. And there were loads of local people. See, shops aren't always amazing at changing their filters. No. Is what I will say.
This is true.
So you can go into, you can try it. Some shops will be brilliant and they'll have 0 TDS, and some shops will have like 60 probably.
So the good ones value that, and they know that it's worth spending a bit of money and effort on. So the good ones will be fine. But I've said this before. There was one shop I went into ages ago, and I said I was like, I needed water. I was like, I don't know if I can be bothered to filter. Should I just buy? Let's ask. So what's your TDS? And they said, well, we don't let it get above 100 or 80 or something. I was like, oh right, okay. No, sorry. I mean, not the water for flushing your poo down the toilet. I mean, I'm trying to look after the most sensitive creatures in the world here.
Yeah.
So there are shops like that just they don't put effort into it. But anyway, so you were selling 0 TDS.
Yes, I was selling RO water.
Why don't you do that now? Because that's one of the big things that shops do is you go in to buy water, and then whilst I'm here, let me buy a fish and a coral and all that.
There's 2 reasons I don't do it now. The first one, and this like water's not expensive really. In you get a lot of water for the amount that you can sell it for, if you see what I mean. Like the cost for 25 liters is, and I don't know, what does RO sell for these days?
I haven't bought RO for a decade.
I think it was like £2.50, but people usually buy it as like 50 or 100 liters at a time. But the best thing of what my parents weren't on a water meter because they had a really old house at the time. So that's what stopped it. They weren't on a water meter, which means we could use as much water as we wanted. And what would happen is all the local people, my parents, I was a fucking nightmare when I was younger. All the people would drop off all their 25-litre canisters outside the house on a Monday, for example. And then throughout the week, I would fill them all up.
Yeah.
And then I would drive them back to them, and I would do one route because it suited them. They dropped it off on their way to work or whatever, and then I would drop them back to their door.
How old were you then?
I'd have been 18, but
yeah,
I would make between £60 and £100 in one go.
But that's the sort of thing. So I did similar things, not quite like that, but similar, quite a lot of effort to make a bit of money. You hustle when you're that age, don't you?
Yeah, when you're young and you don't have any money and you want to like, this was like, I could buy £100 fish every single week.
Yeah.
Like this was the thing. It was never going to be a business for me. It was what I've always described as guilt-free spending. So I always kept separate amounts for what I could spend on the tank and then what I would spend on other things like rent or whatever, like other stuff.
Life, yeah.
So because then if you saved up, let's say like an Achilles tang at the time was £150, this would blow your mind considering they're like, I think £600 to £800 now.
Yeah, really, okay.
Yeah. So if I wanted an Achilles tang, I would just do 2 weeks of that round, and then I would go and buy one, and I would feel nothing because it was fish, specifically fish money. And that is a great way to have one of these tanks without actually. It stops you firstly from impulse buying. It makes you buy things you absolutely want if you have a specific budget for it. And you just like, it's guilt-free spending.
Yeah.
So you're like absolutely no way. I like to go there every single week.
Yeah. But so my YouTube money goes towards, well, a lot of it goes towards cameras and stuff, to be fair. But so that's guilt, but that's still guilt. I like cameras. That's guilt-free spending, and a lot of it goes towards the hobby as well. So and that's guilt-free because it's like, well, I'm not choosing whether I'm going to eat this week or buy a coral.
Yeah,
I'm just going to buy a coral and eat.
But it was as I said, £400 a month was good money for an 18-year-old. And the route used to take me an hour. So it was an hour route to go to drop off. So I can't remember AP when I used to borrow my dad's van at the time, and it was great. It worked. The customers were like, they were happy because they knew it was reliable. I would even sometimes test the RO water there. It also introduced me to loads and loads of people in the hobby in the local area. And all I did is I put up an ad on Acris Classified saying RO water in West Sussex. If you want it, send me a message.
Was that a newspaper?
The Acris Classified still goes to this day. It blows your mind, and people still put stuff on there.
I've never heard of it. What is it?
It was people just sell fish stuff on there.
Classified. A website?
Yes.
Acris-classifieds.co.uk.
When was the last post in the marine section?
Own a fish store. So I don't. It's a weird website. Oh my god! Look at this. There's stuff. Yeah, stuff being added today. It's a forum. It's a freshwater forum.
It's mostly. Wait, are we looking at the same thing?
Count Stirrer. That's the one I was looking at.
That's the one you wanted, wasn't it?
Yeah, but there you go. He's in Scotland. Anyway, yeah, there is stuff there. Amazing. I'd never heard of that place. Yeah. Okay.
So I literally I used to put an advert on there, and it was, but as I said, it was like a gateway into probably 20 or 30 local people that all had fish tanks. And so when they had coral they wanted to sell, or we wanted to swap or whatever, it just worked because I'd go to their houses, and then I'd go, oh, can I have a bit of that? Or like, don't worry about paying me for the next 2 weeks. I'll have a bit of that. And then they just, or if I had something to sell, I'd be like, look, go to the first person. I got this. You're the first person I'm offering it to. I got another 20 people to see tonight. You want it?
Yeah.
So, and it was a good way to like get to know people in the hobby. The reason I don't do it now is because I literally cannot produce enough RO water for what I use. I do. Well, I probably could if I had it running.
You could get a bigger filter and all that, but yeah, that would be a lot of work as well. I think
it's not about having a bigger filter. It's actually about having a bigger container for it. So I have a 400 litre container. It takes a day to fill it up. I then use it for a water change, which then I use the entire amount. Then the next day I fill it up again. Then I use the entire amount.
How big is your membrane? What gallon per day rating is it?
200, I think.
So I've got a 400. If you got a 400, it'd do it twice as quick.
Yeah, true. And you could, but obviously I was thinking about this as well. People come to the farm when they're not at work usually, and when they're not at work, I'm using shipping corals. So what happens is I'll be shipping corals in the day, and then people will come to the farm in the evening, and then people will come to the farm at the weekend, and it's like, so the time when most people have free time is the main time when people can come and see me. So I have to start like allotting specific times to go, look, no matter what, if it starts to affect your relationships and when you see your friends and everything, it just does. Like, so I have to start having allotted times by going, look, this is my own time now. I can't have people just randomly turning up. But it's, as I said, I never cared when I was on my own. And like Rachel's never said anything, but I feel more like Imagine if you had someone turning up at 8 o'clock at night or 8:30 at night when
Yeah. So
on a
I
regular
used to
basis.
sell. I haven't sold corals. Actually, I listed some on Ultimate Reef this weekend, but I haven't sold corals regularly since I shut down my last tank. Really, LPS corals grow more slowly; they're more difficult to frag than SPS. But when I had an aqua tank, I used to sell corals regularly.
Yeah.
And in fact, I can probably tell you because I had to declare it for tax purposes. So I can probably tell you how much money I made in a year. But the point of where I'm going with that is, let me have a look. Coral sales. Wow. So 1 year. Oh, that was the year I shut down. To be fair, I made $5,000 from coral sales 1 year, but I bet half of that would have been shutting down anyway. So a
How many
couple of
corals
grand.
did you kill that year?
Yeah, I know.
Probably $5,000.
But let's say you could, if you've got a tank like that, you can make a couple of grand a year without breaking sweat. And I wasn't trying to maximize prices or whatever. But where I was going with that was that, so people used to turn up at all times of the night, and obviously you arrange it. I'm saying it's okay.
Yeah.
Most of the time, my missus was cool with it, but every now and then they'd turn up whilst we're eating or whatever, and it was like so. And because often you don't meet reefy people, so you want to chat. And so often it's not like a, hi, here you go, cheers, bye. It's like, oh, tell me about your tank. Oh, how'd you find that fish? So
yeah. Oh look, trust me, I know. It's
yeah. Well, you still get that. So
it's it's look, generally speaking, most people are fine. And usually I what I do now is I allow hour slots for people. And it's okay to say no. I've realized it's okay to say no to people. If someone goes, oh, can I be there at 8 o'clock on Tuesday? I'll just go, look, I'll be honest, I'm not free at 8 o'clock on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Why not come on a Saturday at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 11? Because it's the other thing, people used to come through the house as well. No one comes through the house anymore. Like some of my customers that have been coming to me for months and months and months have never seen the water box, because it's like I have a strict. It's like, right, business, home. It has to be kept separate.
I suddenly feel really special.
Yeah, because you've seen it, and it looks beautiful at the moment.
Oh, does
like,
it?
It does. It looks like it's like spotless.
Okay.
I've really I'm not putting corals in it until the new year, I decided, but because I don't give myself any more hassle. So, but as of new year, I'm going full steam ahead. I've decided, because it's all good. But yeah, so that moves on, I would say, nicely into selling coral. I feel like we've done the water thing now.
Yep. You can sell water.
The other thing I'd say, people are lazy. Like if someone, let's put it this way, if someone is going to a fish shop, I even just quickly going back to the water very quickly. I even had freshwater customers that were buying it as well, because it was they were for people who had discus. They need RO water. But I think they were mixing it maybe with some other water.
You have to remineralize it or something, don't you? Or,
something, yeah. But there was a couple of people that had discus that were doing it as well. Water costs basically nothing. The salt has a cost to it, but if you add salt to it as well, then you're up in the money. So, and people are lazy. And if someone can, if you can take someone's problem away, then I think this is more for people that are like, I would say, younger people. I can't imagine there's like 56-year-olds going, I'm going to go start selling water to people.
No.
But if you're 18 and you haven't got a lot of money, you want to get into the hobby, it worked really well for me. Selling coral, I think, is the most obvious one, but that comes with a caveat. You can't kill it. There's plenty of people that kill coral. If you see what don't buy a tank going, I'm going to be rich because I'm going to get some coral and I'm going to grow it.
Do you mean buying and selling, like buying a tank full of coral and breaking it down?
No, I'm talking about so selling coral is obviously where people buy a frag and they grow it out, like what you were doing.
Yeah.
You can buy colonies from shops. They don't like it I don't know if they like it or not, because they're still making a sale. But I know there are some people that regularly will go to a shop, buy a colony.
You're talking about buying to sell it, right?
Yeah, buying to sell the coral from the shop.
So I've done it before where I've bought because I want the coral, but I don't want a coral that big. And so I'll break off 25% of it. I'll keep that 25% and then I'll frag the rest and sell it. And that for me, totally, like if my local fish shop had a problem with that, I'd find that weird because that's
look, it's
especially because that's one thing with big corals. when corals get to a certain, everyone wants frags because they're easy to place, they're cheaper, and all this sort of
Yeah.
stuff. They grow faster generally, well, for the most part. Sometimes, anyway, if you get a massive coral, people don't want it because
No,
where
I agree.
where am I going to put it in my tank? So it's harder to sell. So if I'm prepared to buy, if someone's prepared to buy that off me, because I've done this loads before, people have messaged me said, "Look, I want to buy that off you, but I'm going to frag it and sell it. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Do whatever you want with it, mate. You're doing me a favor because no one else is going to buy it." So, you know,
There's a shop. I don't know if they still do it, but it was one of the local ones to me. And they'd get an import in of a load of acros, and people would go in on the very first day, like when their shop was closed, when they were opening the boxes, they would buy a load of the colonies, break them all up, and then put them on eBay. Like,
right.
so now I don't have a problem with that. The shop obviously also didn't have a problem with it as well, but I don't. But I think it was like frowned upon.
If you're flipping it that quickly, yeah.
It's look, who am I to talk? That's literally what I do as a job. It's just I don't buy from a shop. I buy from the ocean, essentially. So it's
But you're doing
it's
it professionally as well. This is your living. So
no,
no one's
I
judging
know.
you for selling corals. But if you're, because it's supposed to be a hobby, so
I'd be interested
really
to
you
know.
should be.
I'd be interested to talk to one of the owners of a shop, and I might do this. No, I'm not. When I next see him or whatever, just to find out what their opinion on that is. Like, are they? If someone buys a coral from them and then cuts it in half, and the next day they then sell it, is that okay or is that not okay?
There've been times when I've bought corals from people or shops, with the intention of doing that, and sometimes I feel guilty, which is ridiculous because you
But
shouldn't.
why? That's what I mean. Why is it
But
frowned upon?
you feel like you're doing something wrong. But to be fair, there are times when I've seen people sell corals. It's like a massive colony, and they're proud of it because you would be, and so
Yeah,
they don't want it, and they want it to go to a home where it's going to have a better life. If that's not sounding too dramatic, so if they don't want it to go to someone who's going to chop it up, you know. So
yeah.
actually, so and if to be fair, if someone was specifically saying that, I wouldn't buy it and break it up.
See,
But there are
that
times
is
when I
something that people do specifically specify, isn't it? When
yeah,
they sell
exactly.
corals, they
So
say,
if,
"I
if
don't
someone,
want this to go."
exactly, but if you're buying that and then you're breaking up, I think that's not cool because all right. It's not like a dog or a cat, but it is an animal, and it's
Yeah,
kind of something. It's something that you pour effort and blood, sweat, and tears into growing. So I
yeah.
see that. But generally, if I'm selling a colony, I don't care if you frag it or if you keep the whole thing. It's like unless I don't know. There'll be times when I would rather it stay as a colony, but at the
But
same
why?
time because I like that it's grown. Like if it's a particularly nice coral, and it's just there are sometimes you get attached to corals, don't you? Which I think is kind of inevitable. But there are other times when I've sold acro colonies in the past, in particular, where I've thought I want, and people have turned up and said, "I'm going to break this down and frag it. Is that okay?"
Yeah,
And I'm like, "That's brilliant because I want
yeah,
more people to have it because it's so
yeah,
nice."
yeah,
And then if I ever want it back in the future, I'm 10 times more likely to be able to get it back if you break it and sell 100 frags, because then 10 people won't kill
yeah.
it. So
So part of it's sentimental value rather
yeah,
than if it's
I think
actually
so.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
I don't think
Uh,
there's anything wrong with it generally.
what corals you pick to grow makes a massive difference. Um, I
Mm,
don't. I don't think people should get into the hobby to grow coral to make money, and I'm not suggesting that's what people do. I don't think that people should like if you're like in the first year, this is probably not for
forget it.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just buy whatever corals you want to buy. 'Cause the reason I'm saying this is because if people like go out and they go right, I know Raja Rampage sells for a lot, so well, not a lot, not so much anymore, but it's nice coral people
Yeah, yeah,
want, so I'm going to buy that to grow it. They're missing the early stages of xenia and green star polyps and like toads and the things that they need to learn. There is a very sharp learning curve, and I think that if you are just starting with a load of designer corals to grow out, firstly you'll probably kill a load of them.
yeah. I was going to say definitely.
You won't stay. Almost certainly, I would say. Um,
But also, it's you should be buying, because this is a hobby. Unless you're going into it for a living, and normally if you're doing that, you've been a hobbyist for a while.
yeah,
Because it's a hobby, you should buy something that ultimately you should do whatever makes you happy, but you should buy something that you like. And if also you happen to, you think, well, you know, that guy's got a Raja Rampage coral and it's a foot across. I love that coral, but I only want 10% of it, so I'm gonna frag the rest of it and sell it, and then it's free to me. That's cool. But if you're just saying, you know what, I'm going to buy that and I'm going to put it in my tank and I'm going to frag up and sell it, are you doing it for? Is this your hobby, or is it starting to become a business? And because if you're trying to be on a trajectory to become a business, cool. But if you're just doing the hobby to make money, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
Because it's a
no,
passion
no,
hobby, isn't
yeah,
it? And this is really, when I was selling corals from my tank, if I was, let's say I was averaging $2,000 a year on that acro tank, I don't mind telling you I was spending more than $2,000 a year on
yeah,
acros. I was
yeah.
spending more than $2,000 a frag half the time.
It would probably
Exaggeration.
you're spending more than $2,000 probably to run the tank, I reckon.
Exactly.
For a
And
year.
so, but that's the whole point, and that's the main way to make money, is to frag, because then it helps you. It buys salt, it buys I
Yeah.
don't know, electricity, it buys the latest Radion, whatever. So
Now,
that's the kind of the main way to do it.
what corals you pick, as I said, makes a massive difference. If I was someone who was going to get into it now, who was, when I'm saying get into it, I'm thinking like, so within your first year, and you're going, I've tried it a little bit and I want to get into mushrooms. Actually, I think are probably a good way to go.
What
Because
kind of mushrooms?
like
Not
mushrooms
those
sell really well.
boring blue ones that grow
No,
like
like even
crazy.
things like furry green mushrooms sell really well. Um, are you googling furry green mushrooms?
Very green mushroom coral. I'm gonna grab.
How do you not know what a furry green mushroom is? Did you
I
miss like the beginning starting course of reef keeping?
To be fair, one of my first ever corals was a blue mushroom, discosoma, that sort of thing. Yeah,
So
okay.
say I can't grow these fast enough.
There
Every
is.
time I put on the website, they sell out every single time.
Okay.
It's the one with the longer sort of like, because they've almost got like some flowy bits to them. Yeah, I
That is
had
the sort of
those.
thing. That is the sort of thing. That was the blue version of that. Is that a discosoma?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
The blue version of that is the one I had, and that was when what I wanted. One of my first ever corals was that, and I wanted the hardiest coral ever. And
yeah,
basically, the choices were that or Capnella, Kenya tree, or a
yeah,
toadstool. So I got all three of them. And it turns out, actually, I didn't want that, because they're magical when you first get them, but a
yeah,
week later you discover green star polyps or xenia or whatever, and you're like, oh god, they're awesome.
yeah.
But
I think
anyway,
mushrooms are pretty easy because they propagate themselves. They
yeah,
usually grow pretty fast. You want to get one that's a bit different, like a passion fruit one, where they're like gold, like just anything that's slightly different to
yeah.
green will sell. It like
Because if you're trying to sell xenia, everybody's got xenia or GSP.
yes,
I'm currently selling a couple of frags of GSP. It's not hard to get hold of elsewhere. So
yeah. So although again, it's really popular GSP
yeah.
for me as well. So
Mm.
if you're selling it, you let me know. Because I'm gonna need some more, and you got the nice like the really long ones, don't you?
I sold the colony, but yeah, I'll come down and see you at some point. Next
Yeah.
weekend or whatever. But yeah,
But yeah, I would say I think mushrooms, and the other thing is you can put them on a rock, and then you can literally get a chisel and smash the rock up, and they all. It's true. You smash the
mm,
rock up into bits, and then you just pick
yeah,
up the pieces, and then
yeah.
you glue them on frag plugs. Good to go. Yeah,
Yes,
like
actually, I've fragged my acros in the past with a hammer and a tire iron. What's it called? A crowbar.
yeah. The so Uncle Charlie in the chat has just mentioned this as well. I was about to say this.
I
Shops will give you
appreciate it.
credit for it
Yep,
instead of cash.
yep.
And in fact, I don't know any shops that would give you cash for coral. It's like 99% of the time is credit.
But bearing in mind, when you're in the hobby, store credit is basically cash. What else am I going to spend my money
Exactly.
on? So same
And
thing.
shops like it. You're doing the work for them. Look, always call them up first to find out if like don't take in lasers and laser xenia.
Yeah,
Make sure it's something they actually want. But generally speaking, and remember, they are going to give you a lot less for it than you can sell elsewhere. But they're going to take the pain of people coming over to your house away.
but that works brilliantly because shops will generally give you a third of what they'll sell it for, in my experience. So if they're going to sell something for £100, you'll get 33 quid. And that's great for you because it's instant, no messing around, that's gone. And it's
Yeah,
great for them because they haven't actually paid £33 for it because they've given you store credit. So part of that is profit. So that's a win-win situation for me. I love, and again, I've not done it for a while because I don't really have many grown out corals, but I love taking corals to my LFS because they give you store credit, and then instead of spending 400 quid that day, I'll spend 350. So
yeah. It's again guilt-free spending.
yeah,
So
love it.
it's like going moving on to the more experienced ones, things like Cephastrias, Monteporas, even like candy canes and Duncans like sell like crazy. I don't know. I thought
Quite a
these were
slow
so.
grower.
I mean, look, they're faster than some things. You can grow Duncans and candy canes faster than you can grow frog spawns.
So
And
candy cane is not terrible in terms of speed, but Duncans, I find I've got a couple of Duncans in my tank. They're not fast growers. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
it's interesting because I don't have that issue with Duncans. I got loads of them.
Okay, but like GSP grows
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah, but that's the sort of coral that how much are you selling it for out of interest?
15 quid for a well settled, I don't know, golf ball size frag.
So a golf ball, so that's good. That's a good price. But it's the problem with those is they have always been seen as a coral which people like also like where they go, oh, just take loads of it. I got loads of it, just take a load. Do you see what I mean? So people's value of it in a shop, they go, that is worth the money. But also sometimes when it's online, they're like, well, sometimes people give this away. So
and there's a lot to be said to that as well. It's because this is a community hobby. So if you're not, and this whole live stream is about making money. So we're that from your tank.
Look, I wasn't suggesting you give it away unless you're going to give it to
me. Yeah, but it's nice when people do that actually. And
I know, but what the
bank
problem with that is the perception of it. People go, well, people quite often will give some like Xenia away for free. So why am I going to spend £15 buying it? Like, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and the answer to that is, well, you might have to wait 6 months to find it for free.
Yeah, no, of course, but
and you might have to travel 100 miles.
It's slightly different with me because people are coming to me specifically to buy coral, whereas people expect coral to be cheaper from hobbyists, don't they? Would you agree with that? Yeah.
100%,
so
yep.
Like if you're buying a dragon soul or whatever from a hobbyist, you will expect it to be cheaper than your local fish shop.
Absolutely.
So
despite the fact that it's potentially better because it's potentially been in captivity for longer.
100%. One of my customers bought me I think 5 heads of New York Knicks the other day, and he grew it from me from years ago, and I'm not joking, the flesh band on them is like 2 to 3 inches. I can't even frag them because it's just one thick, like all 5 of them have all got a flesh band that joins in the middle. It's crazy. So it's I definitely think the tank grown coral is healthier and better. But that's what I was saying. Going back to the thing, when you grow a coral, which people have that perception of it, it's not always that easy to get rid of. It's not always that easy to sell. Whereas if it's something more unusual that isn't as readily available, it's easier to sell, is what I was trying to get at. Although I feel like you might have thought I meant something different, but I promise you I didn't. The similar to coral, which I actually think is something which is really, really missed. Like, I think that algae is something which is undergrown.
Do you mean like Kato?
No, I'm talking like if you can get specific types of algae, like dragon's breath.
Right, fine.
Algae.
That was going to be. There is like I hate. There's some things that just get your goat right. People who sell Cheeto.
Someone's got to sell it.
And it has a value. I just hate it because it's one of those things that you throw away.
No, I know.
No value, and even shops give it away sometimes. Shops should be able to sell it, but just anyway. Dragon's breath, macroalgae.
Yes, yeah. I think
decorative macroalgae.
Some macroalgae are really hard to get. If I said to you, "Go find me some dragon's breath," where are you going to go get it?
Google. I don't know. No idea. I wouldn't.
Now algae grows pretty easily, and like I think Top Shelf has an entire sump, and they use it as if it's Cheeto. They like frag it as it like so, and it's like massive, like the whole stump's full of it, so it can't be that difficult to grow. And I just think that's the sort of thing that people would like, and I think people will pay the money for it because if you're not having corals, like for example, like with a seahorse tank, then people I reckon people would pay like a relatively a similar amount to a coral for a piece of dragon's breath. and you do see it for sale sometimes, and it's like this. It's like this little
An inch,
tiny
yeah.
thing, and it's like 20 or 30 quid. And I'm like, where? Like how?
But then,
How?
but that's if there's only 10 people growing it in the country and selling it in the country.
And you can
Then
charge what you want for it.
exactly, yeah.
I have thought about getting into it myself, but the problem is I have tanks in every single tank. So if
Oh, funny.
and they'll eat it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I
yeah.
would. I
But
really
you
think
must
it's
have right. No, you must not have. You must have a. You've not really got a sump. You've got like a filter
no,
section. You've got like an
no. See,
all-in-one.
if I had a sump, I would definitely have it. I don't know if it gets out of control like other tanks, but there's definitely like other algae.
Yeah,
But there's
spreads.
loads of really, really pretty macroalgae, which I think people I think is underrated.
It would
With
cause you problems with your tank though, because it would suck up nutrients and trace elements and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah, like maybe that was a bad idea. I wrote it down. I also wrote Bergiers down as well. This is like this isn't for
is
everyone.
that
This is just ways you can
so?
take
There,
money.
we should move on a little bit because there are other ways as well. So
Yeah.
Bergiers is one of them, right? So breeding
You said
Bergier
that
ways.
you said at the beginning there were two specific ones that were obvious. What are the two? Because one of them's growing coral. What was the one that you thought of as the other one?
So selling livestock, whether that's dragon's breath, Bergiers, or whatever,
Yeah.
and working in a local fish shop on weekend duties is the other one.
So I didn't get working in a local fish shop, but I did have tank maintenance down. Because if
Okay. Yeah.
if you're good enough to do your own tank, like you can do other people's tanks. And there's a lot of shops do actually. I'm surprised at how many people have tank maintenance done. Because I always consider it like a passion, like this is mine. I will clean my own protein skimmer. But there's loads of people that just don't want that.
Yeah,
They don't.
totally.
So I know a few people that do tank maintenance. I know three of them off the top of my head I can think of straight away. And I think they make relatively good money from doing it, which means the work is there.
Mhm.
So would you ever have someone look after the tank?
They might do a better job than me half the time. Might test it more regularly. No, probably. I don't trust. The trouble is, I don't trust anyone. I don't trust someone. I don't trust the best shops in the country to filter water for me. I would rather
Yeah.
do it myself. So no,
But
I
you
wouldn't.
did trust me to look after your fish, so I'll take that as a compliment.
Oh, I had no other options. So
Oh, thank
but no, yeah. So all right, there are exceptions, but no, I would I trust them if I was on away or something. But you know your own tank, don't you? So
Yeah, yeah.
okay, the hobby is the hobby, and saltwater is saltwater. So parameters, but you everyone does things their own way, and it's easy to be a control freak with something like that. You want things done
100%.
just so. So, like day to day, no. If I was going away for a month, fine. But if someone said to me, "Hey, look, I'll look after your tank. I'll do all the stuff, all the maintenance. All you
Yeah,
need to do is look at it." I don't want that.
yeah. No, well, I understand. Something else which I think that I'm not sure how people would do this, but I do think there is a market for it to some extent.
Mhm.
Is live rock? You can't get it anymore. Like it's very difficult to get. Yeah, you can get it, but it's not. Firstly, it's really expensive, and secondly, it's not always readily available.
So, is your suggestion fly to Fiji, dig out 5 tons of rock, and fly it back, or
No, my suggestion is, and I've got loads of it, tons and tons of it. If you have dry rock, you could put that in your tank and then sell it after a month. You could sell it as live rock.
so? Do you know what I've thought before about selling, putting a load of filtration media in my sump,
Yeah,
Fluval Biomax or
yeah, yeah,
Cyperax or whatever, and selling that. Leave it for 6 months and sell it. 10 quid a pop off, 20 quid, whatever. I got no idea.
yeah,
Because actually that's brilliant. Then to set up a brand new tank, I'm going to get some tank from this guy. I know what his tank's like because I've seen it on YouTube.
yeah.
I know he's
Full
got
of Asterinas.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what pests I'm getting. But that's how I set up. When I replace the cade, I will take some rock from my sump and some filtration media. I'll wang it in there. I won't bother with a bottle of bacteria. And actually, that's better than bacteria.
I know.
It is bacteria, but it's broader. So I've thought about doing that. I just don't. I wouldn't want it's turned up and there's a bit of aptasia on it or whatever, or there's asterinas. So I don't think, but I would love it. And I've asked shops about doing that before as well. And they've said the same issues. They don't want it's got aptasia on it. I can't guarantee it's perfect. For me, That is all shops should do that, even if it's not a big money thing, but sell half a kilo of filtration media for 20 quid.
I agree.
And then
I
it's season
100%
tank.
agree.
You will increase the number of people who are successful in the first couple of weeks or who don't have major problems. But bottle of bacteria is brilliant and they're a fantastic advent for the hobby. But putting in a load of live rock or live rock equivalent bacteria media, way better.
I'm about to blow your mind. You like,
oh, here we go.
As in you cannot believe that I used to make money this way, and I used to make money this way every single month. And it like, I used to have clownfish, and they used to breed every month continuously.
You've told me this before.
I've told you. Well, I'm going to blow other people's minds then, because
you've told everyone else this before.
The reason I mention this is because you would think that selling, like, people will go, like, who is going to buy some dirty old media for 10 quid? Yeah, but I used to sell clownfish eggs. I used to put a pot in with the clownfish. They would lay the eggs on there, and I can't remember the exact amount, but it was either 30 or 40 pounds. I would sell the clownfish eggs to someone so that they could go raise them. So it was a risk for them. They spent 30 quid. The clownfish eggs might not survive the transit, but they did. And the person would come back every single month and buy them because they would like
make money as well. Exactly, yeah. So that was brilliant. I just for all the Southampton fans watching, Prime Corals, I know you're there. Will Still has been sacked, which is good news, but we're in a mess. Anyway, sorry, I was distracted.
Sorry, I was boring about my clownfish idea.
But that was a good deal because the clownfish breeder gets a load of. He doesn't have to go through the hassle of waiting every 28 days of getting a breeding pair, all that sort of stuff. Come along, buy, bang, and then I can grow them. And if he knows how to do it, I can grow them, and 6 months later I can sell them for $1,000 or whatever. So
you can do. I have bred clownfish, but I never raised them, so I didn't really breed them. Everyone's bred clownfish in that. A lot of people have done, if you see what I mean, in that regard. But I've also bred Banggai cardinals. Banggai cardinals, I think everyone should breed Banggai cardinals. It is just once. It is a great extension of the hobby. It's really interesting. You learn loads of different new skills because you have to raise
the fry.
Baby brine shrimp and stuff like that. I used to love doing it. There's no money in it. There's small amounts of money in it, because they only have like 20 babies at a time. And if you sell those babies for like, I don't know, 20 quid each, it's
if you're lucky. But so actually with the reason I love that, right? I'm just looking up the next Southampton manager. I'd focus on it. I love that. And I've had that once before and I didn't do anything special at all. This was the best thing. Because one or two of them escaped into the sump, went down the overflow. And one day I just found this tiny baby Banggai cardinal, the coolest thing ever in my sump. It was amazing. And I don't know how long he'd been there, but he was there for ages. He was just surviving. Presumably food was going down there. I don't know. But it was wicked. I didn't have to do anything. And he grew. And then I sold it to a neighbor, or gave it to a neighbor, sorry. And it got eaten the next day.
not the greatest end to the story.
Bad end. That's a shame. But the reason I don't want to keep a pair of, I kind of do, but the last time I kept a pair of breeding Banggai cardinals, because they breed regularly, they get into it and they're in a trapped environment. The male who broods keeps them in the babies in his mouth doesn't eat. And that's fine if he doesn't eat for a few weeks and then he eats again for a couple of months. But if he doesn't eat for a few weeks and then gets another batch straight away and then doesn't eat again, there's only one way that's going to end, and that's the way it ended with me. But if they can survive and stay together and keep going, brilliant. It's so cool.
Sydney Aquarium, I'm pretty sure it's Sydney Aquarium, had a massive tank in it, like a full reef tank, and the Banggai cardinals in that was like a plague. It was like a plague because what happened is they put a few pairs in there and they just bred, and the babies just kept surviving. Even with all the other fish, the babies kept surviving. And I reckon they had like 200 of them in there eventually.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't generally, that's obviously a pretty special tank. And they're pumping water from Sydney Harbour, basically. So all of the nutrients and stuff to keep the babies alive, they're getting everything they need, basically.
Easy.
So yeah.
Are there other ways to make money? There's actually one other way that that you and I make money from the hobby.
I have written YouTube channel. I did write that down.
Or TikTok.
And the other thing was well, it's not really making money from your tank. It's making from the hobby, which is to have a shop, and that is not something people should go into lightly, I would say. I obviously don't, but I think let's put it this way: when there's this many shops which don't do well, there's a reason for it. And it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
So before you put your life savings into thinking that this is what you want to do, I would have a serious think about it.
There you
so
go.
That's it, I'd say.
So I did mention briefly working for a local fish shop. It's not going to be for everybody, and it's quite hard work, and it's not great pay. They're generally minimum wage because they're not businesses making it. They're not oil companies. But it is an option, and actually you're going to end up cleaning fish tanks for a lot of the time.
yeah
But
I think it is
I do. So it's the sort of thing that, like, when I was younger, I worked on bars and stuff, and if I had that passion for the hobby, you get a similar camaraderie with your colleagues at places like that, actually. So it's actually probably enjoyable for the right person. But
definitely media, there's some people that do it for years and years and years, and you're right, it isn't for everyone.
No. Social media, difficult to work difficult to make it work and pay.
Look, you think oh yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to know because East Coast Reefer is I saw him in the chat earlier. I think I saw him in the chat earlier. He has a relatively new channel, doesn't he? So he sort of we started out quite a long time ago, whereas he's has broken in the last sort of year and a half, I'd say. So I don't know if he is earning any money from it. Yeah, if he's happy to say in the comments.
He's definitely monetized. Tell us though. It's I'm guessing it's harder because it's got harder since I've been in it.
I know. So what I'm saying is,
never easy.
People might think, oh, I'm not starting a YouTube channel because it's already done. Well, he did it a year and a half ago, so it's not completely done.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah. Cool. There we go. We're out. We're done. It's hard work and not bringing you much money at all.
Yeah. Oh, we know the feeling.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. There we go. And TikTok actually is a good one. So TikTok's just not my thing at all. But you can make money from TikTok.
I know. Rachel has started a TikTok channel. Oh, she told me not to tell anyone.
What's it about?
It's about Lego. So she's not in it. She's just building Lego things.
Okay. There you go.
So I'm pretty sure she told me not to tell anyone. And I just told everyone.
East Coast Reefer makes 20 quid a month.
Okay, so not basically he needs a Patreon account if people go support
him. Go and subscribe to East Coast Reefer, everybody.
I've got one of his East Coast Reefer. You very kindly gave Alex one of your towels, and he just discarded it.
Towels?
I've got I've got the towel he gave me. I know, I took it by accident.
No, but loads of people because there was free stuff everywhere, and I didn't want to carry it around, so I'm not throwing it away.
I know, I was just joking, but I found it the other day in one of the boxes. I'm like, oh, Alex's towels here, because obviously everyone packed everything up, you wouldn't have even known that they packed them. I just thought it was funny.
I've been wondering where that is actually. Now you mentioned it. I remember.
Don't worry, I cherish it. You can't have it back. You have to fight me for it.
Fine, I will. I'll fight death. That's how much I want it. Cool. All right. Well, there you go. That's how you make money from the tank. You don't, basically, but you can make. You can buy
the main way is with Coral. That's the main way.
Totally.
So,
but there we go. There are no member questions. I'm just going to refresh, but there is, of course, news. News that nobody wants to talk about, but let's do it. Yeah, news, Ryan. So there's not a massive amount, but there is one big story, and that is that Live Aquaria appears to have gone bust. So there's been a bit of chat about this on various places like Facebook and all that sort of stuff. So I hear, I'm not on it, so don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a really good write-up on Reef Builders about it. So I'll tell you what they have to say about it, basically. So Live Aquaria, if you're in the UK, Live Aquaria is a place you go to look at. You're like, well, what fish do I want? And you go on Live Aquaria and you search gobies, or you search by difficulty rating or tank size or whatever. So it's a brilliant resource for just looking up fish, and it will give you a quick guide. It's one of the places, if I'm in a local fish shop and I see a fish, I think I like that, I Google it and I click on Live Aquaria. Easy to keep, hard to keep, dietary requirements, all that sort of stuff. But in the US, it's an e-commerce business, right? So
Yeah.
pretty much, from what I understand, it was the go-to place for online fish for a long time. And they had a thing called Diver's Den that was, they got like special fish, like got peppermint angels and all this sort of stuff. And this is all from basically Reef Builders. So because I didn't see it, didn't live it effectively. And the history of it, from what I can see, and this is from the Reef Builders write-up, in 2019, Live Aquaria is bought out by Petco. They bought out the limited company that owned Live Aquaria. And it sounds like that was kind of the beginning of the bad times, when things started to go a little bit downhill. And it was sold to a Sri Lankan company, bizarrely. So Petco bought it all. I presume there was all sorts of stuff they bought, and they sold that off. They sold Live Aquaria to a Sri Lankan company. 2 years later, a guy called Kevin Cohen, I looked him up on LinkedIn. I don't know if he was the founder, but he was a director there. So he was integral to the early days, from what I understand. He left a couple of years later, and it sounds like, from looking at the comments on Instagram, basically, it sounds like things had started to go downhill a bit more after he left as well. Quite complicated ownership structure in terms of the companies that own it, all these sorts of things. But the owner, the limited company that owns Live Aquaria, has filed for bankruptcy. Go on.
No, it's a shame, because you are right. So many people use it for information. I just quickly looked then to see if their website's still up. It would almost be better if they just put everything out of stock, wrote "we're no longer around," and left the website up for people to still be able to like use it for information.
Yeah. So I hope that someone, because there's value in that that website, so I hope that they can sell it and someone can keep it running, because it's a brilliant website as an information resource. But there's also, I don't know how many employees that they have, but whenever a big company like that goes pop, people lose their jobs instantly, and there's going to be people who are worried about how they pay their mortgage and buy food for their families, all that sort of stuff. So lots of stuff like that will be going on. The warehouse facility is up for sale, 1.6 million apparently, but it's right by an airport, so I'm guessing that would be sold quite quickly. Apparently there's still thousands of fish at the facility. The photo I saw, there were no fish in it, but apparently there are still fish there. And because the Reef Builders article was saying there were liability, because it costs money to keep that place running, to keep the fish alive. So from a technical point of view, the creditors, the administrators, or however it works in America, will be looking at that saying, we don't want these. They're not worth anything, because I have to pay money out to keep it going. I don't want to pay money for a company that's become pop. So I don't know what's going to happen to them. I would like to think another wholesaler will be able to say, do you know what, we'll take all of them, is 10 grand or whatever, or we'll just take it off your hands. But I suspect that will get sorted. Well, I hope that will get sorted quickly. It sounds like an application needs to be made to allow that to happen. But that's the most important thing from like my point of view as a hobbyist, is tens of thousands of fish, finding somewhere else for them to go. And so
they should have an open day weekend for hobbyists. Come and take what you want.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the best thing for the fish to some extent.
If they could find someone like Quality Marine or another big wholesaler or whatever, that's the answer, because they've got the capability, potentially at least, to say, we'll take half, we'll take everything, whatever, give you some money for it, just get it done. Because if there's no one going in there, then those fish aren't going to be around for long.
True.
But and if all the staff are gone, you're not going to go in there unpaid to look after the fish. So be the owners, and if I don't know if the owners are around. So anyway, look, it's a really sad news. Live Aquaria looks like it's going to go pop. Doesn't mean that someone won't buy it out. It was similar to, we had Reef Factory go bust not that long ago. No one's bought out Reef Factory as far as I can see. Nothing's changed. I'm surprised that no one's bought up some part of that, because some of their stuff was viable to carry on, but their stuff's still working, by the way. I was in Reef Keeper the other day and I noticed that they've got their lights, Reef Factory lights, still working. I've sold a couple of dosing pumps recently, Reef Factory, for cheap. Still working. Anyway, so Yeah, I don't know if someone will buy it out and keep it running either as a going concern, the whole shop or the whole business, sorry, or just the website. But
It's one of those places which you felt like would be around for a long time, as in like like Woolworths. You thought Woolworths was going to be around forever, didn't you?
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's how I feel about this. Like it shocked me when I saw it. Like there's plenty of places where you go, oh yeah, that person's gone bust or that shop's gone bust, and it doesn't surprise you. But they are one where it did surprise me
even
because
Reef actually
America's
wasn't that
massive
much of
as
a
well.
surprise. Yeah, totally.
But maybe the appetite for buying fish online is just not there.
So I think it's been around for like 30 years, and so Kevin Cohen on his LinkedIn page. Let me just share. Oh, is that? I might have personal details. I won't share it. He's got. He said March 2000 is when he was a director of Life Aquaria. So that's been going for at least 25 years, and he might have even. And you don't. I don't know. Maybe it's been even longer, but yeah, been around a long time since God was a boy, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
But the good news is there's no other bad news. So that is the end of the news. Love that jingle. There we go. So yeah, Live Aquaria is no more, unfortunately. Very sad.
Did you keep a picture of the fish of the week?
Oh, fish of the week. I forgot about the fish.
I'm not going to do coral of the week because I was going to do button scollies, but we already established that they're boring. But I feel like the fish of the week is something.
Were you going to do button scollies as coral of the week because they're unobtainium now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the reason. I just thought.
I've just googled fish of the week. I don't know why I've done that. Button. Let me just Google. You've said button scully was the coral of the week, so we might as well get it up, as it were.
But I don't have any information on them really. They're just smaller scollies. Some of them are nicer. Like
that is what a typical button scully looks like.
Yes,
That's
I
what
have had some really nice red ones in, but that's generally what they look like. They're just sort of like green and brown.
Even the nice ones, I think, because they're so small, they're much smaller than a normal scully. I don't think they look that nice.
Yeah, but now that you have small scullies, now that you have like the normal scullies are small, they're almost the same.
It's not just the size though. A normal, like a bleeding apple scully, it's got a nicer, smoother flesh pattern, nicer coloration. They're brighter. Yeah. Anyway,
there are definitely some that can compete, but I agree with you. I would say probably 95% of them are those green brown ones.
Yeah,
and they're not quite the same.
Anyway, there was a coral of the week, a fish of the week. Sorry.
Do you remember what I sent you the picture of it? If you haven't got the picture, you're not going to be ready.
I think it was a hybrid angel.
Yeah, so I don't know if I actually be able to find this, but a couple of weeks.
See, so I can't just Google it. Is what you're saying?
That's what I mean. I sent it to you. We'll have to save it till next week now.
Hang on. If I go into WhatsApp, I think it will show all the media. God, we send each other a load of nonsense, basically, don't we?
We do. Yeah, but you're not going to. If you're just going to hold your camera up to the phone, it's not going to be the same.
It's not. It's all right. I got it. Fish of the week. Okay, right, Ryan. Tell us what the fish of the week is, and I'll sort it.
There has been angelfish. These are bred pretty frequently, but they've managed to hybridize a king eye angelfish and a regal angelfish, which has happened once previously, and this is the second time it's happened. The reason it's quite astonishing is they are different subspecies of angelfish. So generally, when you get hybrid angelfish, it'll be, I don't know, it's like, say, like a flagfin and a what's those? Oh, and a goldflake. Yeah. They're similar subspecies of angelfish.
Brother from another mother.
Yes. Whereas regal angels and king eye angels are two entirely different subspecies. So the fact that they've managed to hybridize it is pretty crazy. The second, I actually contacted the people to see if I could buy it. That's not an exaggeration. I did.
Wait, is this this must be available in the UK then?
No, it's not in the UK. It's currently I can't remember. I think it's Pomalabs, POMA Labs have it, but they are not selling it.
Okay.
I was just intrigued to see if they would sell it, but they're not. But yeah, I know. Generally speaking, lots and lots of hybrid fish aren't like the best example of this is the Yerpal Tang. You get two nice parents and you put them together, and they're not necessarily nicer than the two originals. But I feel like with this one, it could be something actually quite special. So I'd be interested to see what it turns into. There, as I said, there has been one other one, which I think was about a year ago. I couldn't find any other pictures. So
I feel like we've talked about that fish before, by the way.
really,
Like this, like in the news or something.
not recently.
No, a while ago. I'm sure
That
it
one's
came up.
literally from like 5 days ago.
Yeah, but there you go. So the answer is buy a Regal Angel.
Yeah, and a King Eye.
Put it in with your Tiger. Yeah, your King Eye Angel, and then
that's how you make money from your tank.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the takeaway of this.
Yeah, there you go. When are you going to buy a Regal Angel then? You were offered one the other day. I was offered one the other day.
I was offered your one the other day.
My old one, yeah.
Yeah, but no, not for me. Not for me.
No. I wanted to keep it, but now I don't have it. I don't want it back because I'm too scared it'll eat my corals.
Yeah.
I want to go acros, then I can have that kind of fish.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something. The other thing is, the reason I didn't want it is because there's something about having a really little fish now and like watching it grow.
Love that. I love that. Yeah.
There's lots of times when you get fish from like wild fish and they don't. There's not a massive difference like in size once we've got them. But when you get a tank bred fish, especially an angel fish, that initial growth stage of the first 6 months is like an explosion of growth. So you cannot see it for like 2 days. If you would go away for the weekend and come back, you notice a difference. And I think that is something that's actually quite nice about having.
I was looking at clips of, my old purple tang the other day, and when I got it, it was tiny, like a different shape, and then I don't know, within a year it got not massive, but it was so much different, fatter, chunkier, changed colors. But Regal Angels in particular, they're different when they're junior. They look completely different.
The most noticeable fish that I have ever had that happen to is a Desjardins tang, because you get them in and they're like the size of a 2p, and then a year later they're like the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah.
So not quite, but
and eating all your corals.
They get massive. So
well, there we go. Good fish of the week. Like that.
There you go.
Yeah. Next week I want to do corals with an identity problem. So we might do that next week, and I'll tell you more about if that's not going to get people to come back. Cliffhanger, Ryan. I don't know.
It's going to get me to come back. I'm not even sure what that means.
No, I know it doesn't. Anyway, fine. All right. Well, in which case we're going to wrap up, unless you've got anything else to say.
Nothing else to say.
There's a current discount code on Prestige Reef Coral Auctions.
Oh yeah, true. Discount. Yeah, discount 20 in capitals. It's at the top of the website.
For Prestige Reef or for Coral?
For Prestige Reef. So there will never ever be a discount code for Coral Auctions because the corals are already discounted, basically. So, but yeah, on Prestige Reef. So yeah,
go buy some corals.
Thank you very much for reminding me.
All right. Cheers, guys. Catch you next week.
See you later. Bye.